Welcome. We are looking at Algebra 1, the first unit, Algebra Foundations, and this set, combining like terms with rational coefficients. Rational means a number that can be expressed as a fraction, where the numerator and the denominator are both integers. Okay, here we go. So we have, for example, here's a rational number, 11 twelfths. 11 is an integer, 12 is an integer. Each of these fractions is a rational number. Okay, so we're going to combine like terms just like in the previous problem set. We can add q's and q's. We can add constant numbers, rational numbers to rational numbers. So we will rearrange this with the commutative property of addition. So 11 twelfths plus negative 1/3 can be expressed like this. And then we can do our q's. We've got 5/6 q, which is positive. And we have negative 1/6 q, which is subtracting 1/6 q. All right, so using the commutative property of addition, we can rearrange this so that our like terms are next to each other. We've got 11 twelfths minus 1/3. We need to have a common denominator before we can subtract. Subtraction requires that you have the same kind of thing, and the denominator tells you what kind of a part you have. So the least common denominator in this case will be 12. So 11 twelfths minus some number of twelfths has to be equal to 1/3. Well, twelfths are a fourth as large as thirds, so you'll need to have 4 times as many of them. And then we might as well combine those while we're at it. So 5/6 minus 1/6 is 4/6. That's how many q's we have. Now we can do our subtraction because we have the same denominator. 11 minus 4 is 7 twelfths plus 4. We're going to reduce this at this point, okay? So 4/6 has a common factor. 4 and 6 have common factor of 2. So if we divide both of those by 2, we have half as many pieces, but the pieces are twice as large. They're now thirds instead of sixths. And this is the simplest form, so we'll enter that where they expect to see it. We'll put our fraction, 7 twelfths, and then we're adding 2 thirds of q, like that. Check that answer, all good. Next problem. Combine like terms, so now they gave us some decimals, that's fine. Those are rational also because this 3.6 or 3 6/10 can be expressed as a number of tenths. That's 36 tenths. 36 tenths is a rational number because the numerator and the denominator are both integers. All right, so we have negative 3.6 plus 1.2. for our constants, and then we're going to put our 2 terms that have t in it together. So that's 5.1t minus 1.9t. And this is our new expression. All right, so we can simplify that. 5.1 minus 1.9. If I add a tenth to each of those, the difference between them will stay the same. So let's do that. It'll make the problem simpler. 5.2t minus 2t. Okay? Minus 3.6 plus 1.2 is negative 2.4. Now 5.2 minus 2 is 3.2t minus 2.4, and we're done with that one. 3.2t minus 2.4. Next question. 20, we have some distribution here, right? So 20 times this stuff in parentheses. We have 20 of each thing we find in each term we find in the parentheses. So there's 20 times negative 1.5 r's, plus there's 20 times 0.75. Now, 1.5 is a rational number. That's 3 divided by 2. So 20 times 3, negative 3 halves r, and 20 times 0.75 is 3/4, also a rational number. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. And we're done. Negative 30r plus 15. Next problem. Six times 1/2 w minus 3/4. So 6 times each of those we distribute. 6 times 1/2 w and 6 times negative 3/4. 6 times 1/2 is 3, so 3w. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18, all divided by 4. Now, if I'm adding a negative, that's subtraction, so I can write it like this. And then I notice that 18 and 4 are both divisible by 2, so we can reduce. 3w minus 9/2. 3w minus 9/2. Make sure what you entered is what you meant to enter. And we are done.